How to one-shot the Grove raid. It can be pretty simple with the right layout. I would recommend looking at the positioning of the raid without any traps in order to plan your layout effectively. I didn't really do this. I basically just spammed explosives in every position I remembered enemies having been in, which, it's somewhat effective, but it didn't one-shot the whole raid. Another thing is, if you place an item where an enemy wants to spawn, it's going to move somewhere else. So you can use this to your advantage, but it also, when you're blindly placing bombs, you can accidentally move them away from the explosion, which happened to me a few times on my first couple of attempts. So it's easier if you look at where they spawn and place bombs with that in mind. It was like 2 AM when I was experimenting with placement, so I wasn't really being too smart about it. The main issue I ran into was the spider on the left side. It would always move when I was trying to place bombs in that area. It wants to path into the grove by jumping up that left cliff face. So I considered my options on how to avoid that. One option is to be first in the turn order so that it's not able to make that movement. Alternatively, you can just block up that cliff face area with barrels and crates and whatnot so that it's invalid and it's not able to make that movement. That's what I did in the end. I'm not sure if that was totally necessary after the next part I did, but every time I kept putting bombs in the right place, the left spider would keep moving and not spawning where it previously was. This probably has something to do with like its initial pathing when it spawns in and like looking for a valid area to end up in. So I was unable to blow it up with that small group of enemies on that left side. So I went around and picked up every barrel and crate or like box or whatever I could find in the grove to make that whole area invalid. In doing this, the spider pathed up to where Minfara is. So lucky for me, it just got blown up with the rest of the explosives that were up there with Minfara. Now, this isn't really a guide to all the explosive barrel locations, but you can find a good amount of them in the mountain area. The rolling rock trap has a bunch. The goblin camp storage room has a bunch. There's some in the area before the goblin camp as well. I think I used like 40 barrels, but you might get away with using less. You can also try and use those barrel holding goblins to your advantage, as they'll also blow up. I ended up referring to my explosive layout as Formation 8 because I was accidentally named the same save file Formation 8 a couple times, so I just kept going with it. I probably had like 11 different formations. It's probably too many if you actually went about looking at it the smart way, but it's whatever. On the second attempt of the last formation, we managed to get the one shot, so it was worth it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. If you have any ideas of how I could have done it better, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching.